welcome to another episode of the Stickbow Chronicles, brought to you by Blackwidow Bows. Got Blake Hunter, and then got Rob Patuto on the other end of the mic. What's going on, Rob?
What's up, buddy? Man, it's nice not to have to intro the thing. It's like a vacation right here, man.
I got a little help now, huh?
Damn Skippy.
Yeah. Well, what you got going on, man?
Oh, not much. Chris Jasmine.
Yeah, Chris Jasmine from I guess he's the president of Trad Archers Nevada.
Yeah, and I felt really bad because he reached out to us a while ago, and we were super busy back in June, and just kind of getting the word out what he's doing. And we used to do those plugged in episodes, trying to like highlighting clubs. So this was finally got around to getting it done, and it was fun talking to him.
Yeah, man, it was a great conversation, and kind of the part that stood out to me, which you'll hear it in the episode, but the part that stood out to me is if you're somebody who's wanting to get maybe some trad only tags going in your state, this is a pretty good conversation to listen to, because he kind of goes into exactly what they're trying to get done over there in Nevada. So
yeah, and then surprised the heck out of me. He's Craig Schoenberg's son-in-law. I had no idea.
Yeah, small world,
funny.
Man.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Yeah.
But I thought it was a great conversation for sure.
Man, they are squared away. Yeah,
Yep.
As you'll hear in this episode, they're building a foundation for sure.
Yeah. It was and they've got a big shoot that they're going to try and host out there next year, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, buddy. When's your first season starting? When do you head out?
So I've actually got, which hopefully I don't get burned at the stake for this, but I got 2 muzzleloader tags in Colorado, September 12th, just because I didn't have the points to draw the archery tag I wanted. So went ahead and got a muzzleloader tag, and then whitetail season, I think, kicks off October 3rd here. And then after that, I've got a January mule deer tag in New Mexico, and then the hunt with you.
Right.
For doodads.
What'd you call it? Yeah, you messaged the whole group doodads. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, doodads.
Yeah, I thought you were just talking to texting.
No, that would be you.
Freaking awkward stuff, man. You get anything from me, give me a grace. Give me a little grace.
You gotta kind of proofread it. Yeah. But
shoot from the hip.
Kind of pick out the high points.
Oh, that's good. Well, it was this episode, right? When I was trying to text my wife, and it was something like, what I told you guys what it was. It was like fart something. I'm going to do another one.
Something goofy. That's the one you sent me the other day was pretty goofy too. I can't remember what it said, but it was off the wall.
Yeah, the phone police need to take it away from me for sure.
So when's elk season start there? When do you start getting ready for that?
Well, I haven't hunted the opener since Jiminy Christmas forever. It opens actually August 30th in most of the state. It opens like the 6th of September up here. And okay. I'm going to go to a new place this year down south, and it opens the 30th. And I'm just excited and I got 2 weeks. So me and my buddy, it's going to be his first year with a stickbow. My hunting buddy of 20 plus years is finally come over. Sometimes it takes people over 20 years to see the light, and he's got a stickbow this year. He's got a bear. He's got my bear 59er.
Okay.
Yep.
He's took you 20 years to talk him into it, huh?
Yeah. Well, he actually is more like 20 years of abuse from him, and suddenly now. That's a whole nother story, but looking forward to it and get a podcast in camp. That'll be fun.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun.
Cool. Well, that's all I got. You got anything?
Nope, that's it, man. That's all I got.
I'll say big shout out to sponsors: Kifaru International, Selway Archery, the Footed Shaft, and of course Blackwidow Bows. Now, Trad Archers of Nevada. If you live close, if you hunt Nevada, if you live there, you ought to support these guys. They got a great game plan. You're going to hear it. That's all I got. Roger out. Hey, what's going on, Chris?
Hey, how's it going tonight, Rob?
Pretty good. We got Blake Hunter on here. What's going on, Blake?
Oh, doing good, guys. How are y'all?
Friggin' hot.
Doing well.
I'm telling you, it's hot down here.
Well, we whine up here more. You guys are used to it. We whine.
That's right.
So we got Chris Jasmine from the Traditional Archers of Nevada. Is that right?
That's correct. Yep.
Yeah. Well, how long you guys been around?
Yeah. So we're actually a fairly new organization. We came up with the idea here. Well, we thought about it for a lot of years, me and a bunch of guys, but here about 2 years ago in 2018, there were four of us that kind of said, we've talked about this for years. It's time that we just get something kicked off here. Years ago, there was a traditional organization in Nevada, and it died probably 15, 20 years ago. It's been a long time, and we just thought it was time to start getting something going here again. And then in 2019, we actually went all the way through then and got our nonprofit status and all that stuff set up with the state. So it's been good.
Cool beans, man. So how many members you guys got right now, or what do you got? Tell us a little bit what you got going on.
Yep. So we started taking members just about exactly a year ago. So in our first year now, we've grown to just over 60 members. Our goal for the first year was 50. So we're doing good. And those members are both in-state members as well as a few out-of-state members that are excited about some of the things we're trying to do here in Nevada.
Well, tell us what you're trying to do. What's the plan?
Yeah, so one of the main things that we kind of put on our platter when we first got everything kicked off was we wanted to revive some kind of a traditional archery shoot and gathering here in the state. Years ago, there used to be one called the Traditional Sagebrush Classic that was put on by our state bowhunting organization. That shoot has kind of died over the years, so that's one big item that we wanted to do. But it wasn't very long after we got started that we realized, it costs a lot of money to buy enough targets to truly put on a good 3D shoot. So we really focused our efforts to what our second big idea was to get things kicked off, and that is going after establishing the first set of traditional only mule deer tags here in the state. So for the last year, that's where we've been putting the majority of our effort, is trying to create increased hunter opportunity here in Nevada, and specifically trying to do that increase through the establishment of archery deer tags here that are traditional only.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you did get some traditional only mule deer tags going?
Nope. So we're neck deep in the middle of it. So in fact, just yesterday, we sent off our petition to our game commission here in the state. But really, we've been working on this for the last year. So we wanted this thing to be as much of a grassroots effort as possible. So we actually started off by going to our state bowhunting organization and selling them on the idea, because we knew if we didn't have their support, this wouldn't go anywhere. So we started there, and then we've just slowly been going through all of the local archery clubs and getting them to buy off on it and get their support. We've also started going to a bunch of the county advisory boards, which are a county by county group that typically votes on any commission regulations that'll be coming up. And now we're finally at a point where we are attempting to get that petition in front of our commission, so that they can take a look at it for the upcoming 2021 season.
Wow, you guys are getting after it. Let me ask you, how big and can you tell me how active your state organization is?
Yeah, I don't know what their numbers are today. I actually used to sit on that board years ago. But it really, in Nevada in general, bowhunting is not as big and strong as it is in some states. I would guess our state organization probably has around 300 to 400 members, something like that. And they're not super active at the moment in regulations. If there's stuff that comes along that is trying to take away archery tags or cut into seasons, they obviously jump in. But for the last few years, they haven't been real active in going after additional opportunity for archers. So again, that's something else that we have on our plate. Long down the road, once we get past this first little push, is to try to hopefully work with NVHA to look for other opportunities for all archers here in Nevada to gain opportunities. Because what we've seen in Nevada over the years, especially as success rates have increased with modern archery equipment, our tag quotas are all based on a demand and success formula. So as success rates have gone up with guys that are able to shoot 60, 70, 80 yards accurately, our tags for archery have dropped over time. So this is one of the main reasons why we think this season that we're proposing for traditional only is a great option, right? It'll be a very low success rate, have very low impact to the mule deer resource, but really create a lot of opportunity for hunters that again, doesn't have any impact.
Good revenue for the state as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So did you get the support of the, did you say they were, I didn't catch. So the state organization was it the Nevada Bow Hunters Association, NBA? Did you get their support?
Yep. We did. Yep. Wow. We did. So yeah, it was pretty, yeah, it was great. We went there and just presented, what our ideas were, really showed how what we're doing is not going to cut into anybody's opportunity, whether that be, compound hunters or rifle hunters or muzzleloader hunters. And once we could make that case and show them like, hey, this is just a win for all sportsmen, and definitely a win for archers. They jumped on board and gave us their support.
Wow. Good on you guys. How is your game commission down there? How is it structured? How is it user friendly? Is it, sportsman oriented, or is it more political? How does it work down there?
Yeah, I mean, I think all commissions to some extent are have some amount of politics to drive them. But overall, I mean, anybody can submit petitions to the commission, and so anybody can be heard. And then we also have county advisory boards. So really, when anything goes in front of the commission, those advisory boards for all of our counties here in Nevada will weigh in and you say, yeah, this makes sense, or no, we don't like this. So that's one of the things is we do this. There's a lot of legwork involved just going to trying to get all those individual county game boards on board, trying to get all the local clubs on board, so that when it does actually get to the commission, there's not a big bunch of people saying, hey, this is a bad idea. And in fact, it's all them saying, oh yeah, we've heard about this, and yeah, we support it.
So what kind of information are you getting to them to pitch the idea of a traditional bow hunting only season, as far as, statistics and things like that? Because obviously I think there's a lot of people in a lot of different states that would love to get something like that going. So kind of outline what your game plan is and what exactly you're trying to show them to convince them of that.
Yep. So, I'll lay out kind of what the game plan is and what it is we're asking for. And then I think it'll answer both parts of that question, Blake. So really, when we went into this thing, we really wanted to make sure that whatever it was we were proposing was not having a negative effect on any other hunter group or any other hunter group season. So by hunter groups, I mean, modern compound archers or muzzleloader hunters or rifle hunters. So we wanted to make sure that we weren't trying to take tags away from them, because everything in Nevada is a draw, right? There's nothing over the counter here. Mm-hmm. So we didn't want to take any tags away there. We also have so many different seasons that it's really hard to fit in, our own traditional archery season in there. So that was another part that we really watched and really careful to say, hey, let's make this work in a way that we don't cut into anybody's hunt dates, change their seasons in any way. So what it is we're proposing is that we establish a quota of traditional archery only mule deer tags, and that those tags are valid for our general archery season. So it's not its own season dates. We just have to hunt during that month that the current archery tags are for right now. And then we are starting fairly small and asking for 100 tags. And what we did was we went back and we looked at success rates in Nevada between 1970 and 1979. So basically a 10-year period. and really a 10-year period. There were probably a few compounds showing up in there, but very early compounds, no rangefinders. And what that success rate showed us was that during that 10-year period, the average success rate was about 10.4%, compared to our success rates today statewide, which are closer to 24%. So
wow.
what we're able to do, so it's changed a lot, right? So what we're able to do is say, hey, if you guys give us these hunter tags, it creates hunter opportunity. It will hunt during the same archery season as everybody else, and really somewhere in northern Nevada, we'll kill 10 to 14 deer. I think 14% was the highest success rate during that 10-year period. So when you look at it in those terms and you think about, okay, well, they're going to kill 14 deer at most across somewhere in northern Nevada. I mean, that's such a small impact to the mule deer resource that, it's probably within the rounding errors of most quotas.
So did you say that the tags would come out of the general pool? Or where'd you say the tags would come from?
Yep. So that they would be 100 completely new tags. Yep.
Okay.
So they would be in addition to the general quotas. Yep.
Yeah.
But in the same season. So it'd be during the general archery season, it's just a traditional only specific tag, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yep. And what we're proposing is basically that with this tag, you could hunt in any unit that has over 100 rifle muzzleloader archery tags. So there'll be a few units that are, some of our trophy units that they may only give, 20, 30, 40 tags in. Those units would fall off and you wouldn't be able to hunt in those units. But any of the other units that have over 100 tags, so i.e. they have healthy mule deer populations, you would be able to hunt with the tag as we're proposing it today.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Man, my hat's off to you guys. You guys are doing it. Sound like you got your ducks in a row. Wow.
Very much so.
We're doing our best. Yeah. And early on, we realized that if we just went and said, hey, can somebody help us figure out how to do this? And, this is what we want to do. And went to the commission with that approach, they would just say, no, we're good. But hopefully by giving them a lot of those answers right up front and then having done our homework, hopefully we've made something that is very, very easy for them to swallow.
Well, I think this is good information to get out to people, just mainly for people to understand that this is possible in your state as well. If this is something that you want to see happen, you have to get out there and make it happen. And it's interesting to hear you break all that down for sure. Yeah.
Yep. We're firm believers, that the world is run by those that show up, and that was kind of our whole idea for getting this organization off the ground. Is just that we can, if we just form it, people will come along, and if we just start asking, and eventually we'll get this thing. And we're realistic too. We realize that this first time we petition the commission, it may not come together, and if that's the case, that's fine, right? We'll stay after it, and maybe it'll be the following year. And then again, who knows? Maybe we've done our homework enough, and we can get this thing through the first time, and that would be great. It'll create a lot of opportunity. And the thing that we're the most excited about is, as we've talked to a lot of compound hunters, guys that have never hunted with a stick bow before, and we kind of lay out what we're trying to do. It's pretty surprising how many of them go, wow, if that happens, I'll apply for that. I'll put it down as a fifth choice, which is 100% what we're trying to do here, right? I mean, this is cool for each one of us that already hunt with a stick bow, and that this would be a fun tag to have. But more importantly, our idea here is we want to grow the sport, and we want to get more people hunting with a stick bow. So by having this, and if it causes 50 guys to put it down as their last choice, and they draw it, and then they have to go out and buy a stick bow, we're just hopeful that they all fall in love with it as much as we all have.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great incentive to the better draw odds and everything like that, to get people to just dive into it. And if you can ever just get people into it, I know for me that it was pretty easy to get hooked on it for sure.
Yeah. Well, the relationship building with the department, I'm huge on that, and I just did a podcast with an employee of the Idaho State Idaho Department of Fish and Game, and building that relationship. And, you know, the guy that I'm talking to isn't much of a bow hunter, but just cultivating that, like you said, it might not be this year, but just cultivating that relationship. And then, man, I'm stunned that you get the support of the Nevada Bow Hunting Association. That's huge. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, I think our approach here is one that's just, it's non-threatening, right? We're asking for tags in addition to, we're not going to kill all that many deer. So I think our state organization just saw it as a win for all archers, which it truly is. So yeah, we were super happy that they got behind it. Yeah, look forward to working with them as we move forward on this, and hopefully other things in the future as well.
So, talk a little bit of how your organization's structured there.
Okay. Yeah. So we have a board of directors, and we're currently actually looking for a board member still at the moment. But it's basically structured like most of these organizations are, with president, vice president, and then several board members. We only have one standing committee thus far, which is our bow hunting committee. And really, our bow hunting committee is the one that's kind of really focused on these tags for the moment. As we go forward, our hope is that we can kind of have a target director as well, to hopefully help us put on a gathering or rendezvous somewhere in the state and actually have a traditional only 3D shoot again here. So yeah, that's the basics of it. We started back in 2019, so we're just barely 1 year into it, and yeah, we're just hopeful that it keeps growing as fast as it has been growing.
That's cool.
And where can people go to get more involved in that to really move that process forward, I guess, and get involved in trying to get those tags and get that thing pushed through? Did you mention a petition?
Yep. Oh, yep. Yep. So the petition process in and of itself doesn't require any signatures. However, the more support we can get by people joining our organization is always great. And we have a webpage just at www.traditionalarchersofnevada.com, and people can get on there. They can see what we're up to and also join if they wish to join. And then also we're also on Instagram as well.
Cool.
That's a cool hat you got there. What do you got there?
That's Compton's.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
My father-in-law is actually Craig Schonenberg, who's the.
Shoot! You're kidding me.
Yeah.
Oh, I talked to Craig quite a bit.
Yep. That's my father-in-law. So.
Are you the one that got or you were bidding on the hunt at that cabin, that whitetail hunt?
Yep.
Dang.
Up at Plum Creek. Yeah. We were kind of hoping to win that. My wife and I. My wife's also a traditional hunter, and in fact, when we first got married, we were lucky enough to go up there and hunt at Plum Creek with Dick and Carol. And Craig, my father-in-law, has been friends with Dick and Carol for years and years and years. So yeah, it was a great time. So we were kind of almost thinking it would be a great kind of 15-year honeymoon to go back and hunt up there again. But we did not win it. So.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Man, that was a heck of a deal. I'll be dang. I had no idea. That's funny. Yeah. Craig is a super, super nice guy. I mean, he has been so gracious to me. And then he sent my son a book after we did a deal with Compton. What a great guy. Hardworking guy for Compton's, man. Big shout out to Craig. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm lucky to call my father-in-law, and yeah, he sure does a lot for our sport. And yeah, Compton's just a great organization overall, and yeah, with Craig there driving some of those memberships, I think they've done really well.
Yeah. You got a wall full of bows. Tell me what you got behind you there. I see some curvy limbed ones. I don't like the straight limb ones. Get I like the curvy limb ones.
Yeah, there's not too many straight limbed ones up there, and in fact, there's quite a few extra curvy ones. So I'm a I'm a big fan of the super curves. So there's everything from a Bob Lee at the top, and then there's a next one down. I think is actually it's my wife's bow. It's a Old Bear A-handle magnesium, but I had a custom set of border hex 6.5 limbs made for it. So it's a sweet shooting little thing.
Wow.
Then there's a bunch there, but I think the important one is the middle one there, which is the bow that I'll be hunting with here in about 10 days, I guess. And so I'm shooting a Hoyt Satori with Morrison Max 6 super curves on it. So
cool, man. What hunt you got coming up?
Yeah, so I got two mule deer tags this year, so excited about that. The first one kicks off here in about 10 days down in central Nevada. So my wife and I both have archery deer tags here for that. So we're super pumped to go down there and hunt one of the units that we love hunting more than anything. And then I also have a Oregon archery mule deer tag as well in the same unit that I hunted up there last year. And so gonna be busy for sure chasing deer around, which is great. They're by far my favorite.
Yeah, man, I've hunted mule deer only a couple of times, and I'm hooked. It's a lot of fun.
What's the bow right above that one?
The bow above.
It looks like a 50 style. I think it's strung.
Yep. So that's actually an interesting bow. So that is a Blackwidow. It's my wife's bow. But what it is actually a prototype for that 50 style recurve that they have. So she bought that before they even had that bow available, and it was one of their prototypes that they had built, and she had gone down with Craig down to the Blackwidow factory, and she shot a bunch of the stock bows they had on the shelf. Couldn't find anything that she liked, and Ken Beck had gone in the back and said, "Hey, check this one out, see if you like this." And she fell in love with it, and yeah, I mean that must have been 22 years ago or something that she bought that. But yeah, it's a kind of one of a kind bow. It's very similar to what they produce, but the grip is quite a bit different than how that bow.
So it's a prototype PSR then?
That's correct. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, I did an episode. The first episode I did with Ken Beck. I was shocked at the amount of feedback I got from people that like messaged me and told me these very moving stories about Ken Beck and what they, what he had said or done in their life to make an impact. I mean, that was phenomenal. That guy has really touched some lives and way beyond bow hunting. I mean, what a great guy. And then I got him on the second time, man, he just roughed me up, kind of picked on me. I felt bad.
You need that every once in a while.
Yeah, everybody else is saying what a great guy he is. He just kind of hacked on me for like 4 minutes, 5 minutes, making fun of my name. I was going to give him my lunch money.
That's too funny.
That's cool. So your wife's pretty hardcore bow hunter then.
Yep. She and in fact, my friends all give me a really hard time because she was actually the one that got me into traditional bow hunting. So when we met, I was a compound archer, and she's actually only ever shot recurve. She's never even shot a compound. So when we first started dating, I was kind of watching her. We'd go and shoot, and was like, yeah, it looks like she's having more fun than I'm having. And so anyway, the rest is history, so they say.
Well, did Craig have anything to do with it? It's like, yeah, you can marry my daughter, but.
Yep. The prenup included me only shooting recurves.
You guys got pretty good elk hunting down there?
Yeah, great. Yeah, I mean, as far as trophy quality goes, I would argue some of the best. It's difficult to draw tags for most things here in Nevada, and elk is no different. But once you do, the majority of our units, it's not uncommon or not unrealistic to set your goals on something 350 or better, and just wait till you find that bull. I mean, there's just a lot of elk in the units where we have elk, and it's just some great trophy quality. Yeah, my wife killed just a stud of a bull here 5 years ago down in our main elk hunting unit. I was hoping this year. I thought I was going to draw this year. I'm back up in points again, and was severely disappointed that it's going to take me at least one more year to draw.
Yeah, I've been making my yearly donations to Nevada the last couple years, and hopefully one of these days I'll pull a couple of tags over there.
Yeah. I mean, our elk numbers, I mean, over the last 20 years have really exploded. And compared to what it was 20 years ago, where it might take you 20 years as a resident to draw. Anymore with archery, if you're not super picky on the unit, as a resident, you can probably draw 4 or 5 points is not unheard of. So again, not as good as Rob has it for sure up in Idaho, but again, once you do draw those tags, typically you see a ton of elk and some really stellar bulls.
Yeah, well, Idaho stinks, but so to get 4 or 5 points, is that 4 or 5 years?
It is. Yep.
Oh,
Yep. 4 or 5 years.
I can't imagine that.
And correct me if I'm wrong, in Nevada, they square your points, right? And then it goes into a random. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, there's no no preference points like some states do. So they're called bonus points. So yeah, for every point you have, they square that. So if you have 5 points, you're actually getting your name thrown in the hat 25 times. If you have 2 points, you're getting your name thrown in the hat 4 times. So it's kind of a good system in that it doesn't matter. It could be your first year putting in, and you could draw, right? It's not like Wyoming where if you don't have enough points, there's no way you're going to draw a tag. But it does increase your odds as you get more and more points. But that being said, because it is random, there's plenty of years that young guys have max points or a ton of points, and somebody with 1 point is the one that draws the tag. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, I guess. It helps, and you can also get lucky. I mean, I'm a great example. I try not to complain when people draw tags with low points. I drew one of our mountain goat tags years ago with only 4 points, which is just unheard of. We only have one mountain range that has mountain goats in it. So it works in your favor sometimes, and it seems like it works against you more times than not. But I try not to complain. Again, I've been lucky over the years.
Did you get a mountain goat? Did you kill one?
I did. Although I probably can't talk about it on this podcast because it was back in my compound days and I shot it with a compound.
Oh, hell yeah, you can.
Oh, we don't judge.
Pretty good hunt. Was it a fun hunt?
Oh yeah, it was great. Yeah, the mountain range actually that's just right outside my window here is the mountain range that has the mountain goats in it. And in fact, where I shot my goat from, I could physically see our house down in the valley below. So it was fun, and I had a lot of bad weather on the year that I had my hunt, so it was got kind of rushed and just tried to fit it in between big snowstorms and blizzards up on the mountain. But wouldn't have traded the hunt for the world.
If I'm not drawing a tag if it's taken 4 or 5 years, does it take 4 or 5 years to draw a tag consistently? Like every 4 or 5 years you're drawing an elk tag?
So by saying 4 or 5 years, so for bull elk, yes, it'll take you that for archery for sure. Cow hunts you can draw a cow tag every other year probably for archery.
Can you put in for a bull tag and a cow tag?
You can, and they just changed it this year to where you can only draw one of the two, however.
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
So for a few years now, you've been able to draw both, but they just changed it back to where you can only draw one. The issue is you never know what order they're going to draw the tags in. So in theory, you could have the best number in the hat to draw a bull elk tag, but they draw the cow hunt first, and you end up drawing the cow tag, and they kick you out of the bull drawing. So that's what I did this year. Was I just bought bonus points for cow because I was so certain I was going to draw my bull tag, and then didn't draw either one for it, unfortunately.
I can't imagine how devastated I would be because, I got to work out to stay in shape. Maybe Nevada's flat, but to hunt elk, you got to be fairly physical at Idaho. And if I got to work out all year long to find out I didn't draw by the second year, I'd be a fat turd and would never hunt elk again. It'd be over. The game up, tapped out. I just tap out second year. I'm too fat to put in.
Yeah, no, I mean, compared to a bunch of the Western states, for sure, Nevada can be frustrating and make kind of some of you guys from like Idaho just kind of scratch your head like, what are you guys doing down there? But you know, we are the driest state in the nation, and you know, we just don't have the population statewide like you guys do there in Idaho. But again, it's one of those kind of bittersweet things, right? I mean, it takes you a while to draw that bull tag, but you know, when you draw that tag, it's going to be an epic hunt. You're gonna see elk, you're gonna see big bulls. So it's I guess kind of a trade-off, right? It takes a while, and sometimes I almost believe that it almost makes those bull tags when you draw them that much more special, right? Because you've been waiting for 5 years or you know whatever it is, 7 years, and then you finally draw it. So it just kind of makes the experience even more special. Now, don't get me wrong. If I could hunt bulls every year, I would be much more happy.
Sure. Is it mostly state, federal? What kind of ground you hunting there?
Yep. So predominantly either BLM or Forest Service ground. You know, Nevada has 86% public ground, so there's very, very little private.
Wow.
So yeah, you very rarely run into a private land issue to get back into somewhere that you want to hunt. It's especially in the units where there's elk. Most of those units are predominantly all federal land.
Well, I got to say that I'm from Texas, so I'm a non-resident in pretty much any state that you can hunt elk. And, you know, it's actually kind of nice. All the states are a little bit different. Some states I can kind of command the draw and draw tag when I want one. And then, you know, it's nice to have those states too, where you can just put in for, you know, really premium tags. And if you draw it, great. And if you don't, you know, you're just still getting points. So I kind of appreciate, you know, some of the states where if I do pull a tag, it's going to be a really, really good hunt.
Right. Yeah. And there's, you know, there's plenty of opportunities in states that surround Nevada too. So, you know, there's quite a few guys that will go up to Idaho and buy non-resident tags up there. So, you know, in those years when it is slim pickings, there are typically options that aren't too far away from us if a guy just has to get out and chase elk.
What's your season like? So you draw a bull tag. What's end date or start date, end date? What's that look like?
Yeah, most of our and there's some exceptions, but most of them start sometime in the last week of August, and then they go through about the 15th of September. So they're most of our archery hunts are just kind of right on the front end of the rut. But that's in most units when they are.
Yeah, man.
Well,
for archery.
Yeah.
Well, with the mule deer thing that you've got going, trying to get traditional only tags for that, I would imagine, you know, kind of your next step after that, if y'all get that pushed through, would be to work into elk and try and get something done there, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would prefer to keep living in the state, so I don't know if I'm going to go after the elk quite yet.
We'll give out your phone number and your address.
Yeah, you know, probably if we can be successful and guys seem to like the approach, you know, I think probably the next would be antelope that we would go after.
Oh, there you go.
Antelope's kind of our next most populous animal here in the state. In fact, in Nevada, our antelope numbers over the last 20 years, much like elk, have done really well, and they've gone up quite a bit.
Yeah, I guess when you don't really have the numbers, you're kind of pushing the envelope there to try and get something like that pushed through.
Yeah. One of the things that I would love to do over the next few years is, you know, partner with the Nevada Bowhunters Association and try to establish the first set of archery only desert bighorn tags. You know, we have a very, very healthy population of desert bighorns here in Nevada. You know, the Department of Wildlife has done a great job over the last 30 years in getting sheep put on the majority of mountain ranges that'll support them. And I think the timing is probably getting close to being right to try to get some, you know, just archery in general quota established for desert bighorn here in the state. So I think that would be a fun project.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'd definitely be one of the guys putting in for them. So.
You know, I was talking to Mike Harris there up in Alaska, and they did a lot this year, kind of setting the groundwork for hunts like you're talking about, going to the commission, and it wasn't traditional only, but it was archers just bringing forth, the tagline in Idaho is hunter days, right? So it's hunter days, how many hunter days you're going to get out of something. And it certainly is, I think, really good to remind people and commission sometimes that, like, what's the value of the time of field, right? So if you increase the time of field while minimizing the impact on game, you're also creating more of the economy, right? So it's more hotel rooms, it's more, restaurants, and I mean, it's far reaching. Those hunter days are far reaching.
Yeah, and that's our view here too. And really, I think our Department of Wildlife here has done a good job of really, attempting to look for those. And here we call them hunter opportunity, right?
Yeah.
So looking for that opportunity and where that can be created that doesn't have an impact to the resource. So just that strategy to get more people in the field, and really whether it's traditional archers or compound archers. Just making sure that we have archery seasons and archery opportunity now and keep that growing over the years. I think that's just a win-win for everybody.
Somewhere Bob Borland's pumping his fist right now saying, "Yeah, I told you, Rob, I told you, you're finally on board." So what else you guys got planned for the organization? Are you calling it a club, organization? What's your vision for over the next couple of years?
Yep. So again, hopefully we can be successful in getting these traditional archery only mule deer tags. I mean, that would be a huge win, and really I think a catalyst to grow our organization and grow the sport that we all love. Obviously, too, we are dedicated to working hard to put on a traditional only rendezvous 3D shoot, whatever you want to call it. I think there's a lot of traditional archers that at times are intimidated by going to 3D shoots. Yet there's also a bunch of us that just love it almost as much as hunting. Love competing, just love the camaraderie of being out and seeing everybody shoot. So getting that off the ground and going again is definitely on our priority, and we are in the early stages of getting plans to have a shoot in 2021. So that's a big thing for us. And then again, too, just really our mission is just to grow what we call single string archery here in the state. So just figuring out ways to get stick bows in the hands of guys that haven't shot them before, that want to give it a shot. In fact, just about a month ago, we went to a 3D shoot that was here outside of Elko, and that was kind of one of our missions of the weekend, was just to talk to guys. We had a booth set up. We had bows that we brought along that were in the 30-pound range, and just offer like, hey, do you guys want to shoot bows? Like, here, shoot this one, and we'd give them a bow and go to the practice butts and try to get them some time behind the string. And you guys know, because you guys love it as much as I do. There's just something different about shooting a traditional bow, and for whatever reason it is, whether it's because it's not the mechanical feel of a compound. Most people, they shoot their first arrow, and even if they're been shooting a compound for 20 years, they just kind of like look back at you and smile, right? It's just like this connection that I can't even explain why it is, but it's there. It's just more of a connection with the shot, more of a connection with the flight of that arrow. So just continuing to find opportunities to go to shoots and put stick bows in guys' hands and gals' hands for that matter, to hopefully make them fall in love with the sport is really what our main mission is. And we hope that the season and putting on our own shoot are just little pieces in that bigger picture of growing the sport here in the state.
Absolutely. And it's just a domino effect. The more people that you can get into it, the more people they'll get into it. And, if you'd have told me 8 or 10 years ago that I'd be hunting with a traditional bow or single string bow, I probably would have told you were crazy. But, you're absolutely right. Once you start hunting with one and get an animal on the ground, there's really not a better feeling. So I think that's great, man.
Appreciate it. Yeah, we're excited.
So you guys are accept non-resident members as well?
Absolutely. Yep. We'll take anybody, Rob. Even you.
I might taint your membership. Where can people find you in Traditional Archers in Nevada? Where can people find you?
Yep. So they can go. Best way is just to go to our webpage at traditionalarchersofnevada.com, and they can join there and find out what we're up to and get more information. They can also check out our Instagram page, which is tradarchersofnevada.com, or excuse me, just Trad Archers of Nevada for Instagram.
And what's it cost to join?
So we have yearly memberships for $40 and family memberships for $70. We also offer free memberships for anyone under 17 years of age. So if any kids want to join, we're more than happy to give them a full membership free of charge.
You guys staying in touch just via social media, or do you have a newsletter, or what do you got going on there?
Yep. So we got added the social media, obviously, but then we also do roughly a quarterly newsletter as well that we send out to all of our members just to keep them apprised of what we're doing. And we'll throw a little tech tips in there and kind of just fun trad hunting facts as well. So between social media and that, those are our main two ways of keeping in touch with members. We'll also occasionally send out emails just with some updates of things that we're up to, or if we're going to be attending a shoot, just to let them know we're going to be there. And then, again, hopefully, as we move into the second year, we're also going to start some just general membership meetings as well. This first year has just kind of been our board meeting, trying to get things lined out and moving in the right direction. But we had one general membership meeting, and that'll start becoming more of a regular occurrence now.
Where are you guys thinking of having that shoot next year? What part of the state, or you thought about that yet?
Yep, we have. So we actually have one of our members that has a really great piece of property over in the Ely area, and he's offered to let us have the shoot there on his place. It's just a great little chunk of country that's got a bunch of deer and elk on it, and big meadow system. So yeah, it'll be outside of Ely is where that first shoot will more than likely be.
And we all have vendor booths and stuff set up there as well. Is it going to be kind of like just a thing where vendors and stuff can come and set up so people can try out bows, shoot different bows, and do things like that?
Yeah, that's the idea for sure. It'll be, we'll see how the turnout is for this first year, but yeah, definitely vendors will be more than welcome to come along. And again, we haven't got to the details of starting to invite vendors yet, but yeah, it'll be just more of I'll back up a second. Really what we want to grow this thing towards someday is, I don't know if you guys have ever been to the Colorado Traditional Archery Society's high country shoot, but it's an event that my family goes to just about every year, which is just a great big gathering of, for them, 600 plus traditional archers from all over the place. They have vendors, they have food, they have tons of 3D courses. So kind of modeling after that, where it's just this gathering where people get together and have a bunch of like-minded folks shooting bows, telling stories, having a good time. That's our hope for what this thing will grow to over time.
Cool. I'm so stoked for you guys when you say you have such a positive relationship with your state bow hunting organization. Man, what a leg up, to work together and to have that support, and that is awesome.
Yeah, and again, that's by design, Rob. I mean, we're firm believers in that every one of us as traditional archers should be members of our town or county's local club. We're firm believers that we should all be members of our state bow hunting organization, because really, and for the most part, they're the ones that are fighting for our bow hunting rights, whether we're compound archers or stickbow archers. And then also too, obviously being involved and being members of our national organizations, whether that be Compton's or some of the other national traditional archery organizations. I mean, really, as archers, If we try to divvy ourselves up and divide ourselves into these little niches of, self-bow guys and middle riser guys and compound guys are over there, really at the end of the day, we'll all lose bow hunting opportunity. And that's not what we want. So, by design, we've really wanted to partner with and be open with our partners, whether they're other traditional organizations or whether they're our state compound or just bow hunting in general organizations. Really, we're stronger together, and we can't lose sight of that, or we'll lose a lot of the opportunity that we have today.
110%, man. I wish more people thought like that. It seems like the fighting between groups sometimes is pretty unnecessary and kind of defeating the whole purpose of that. We're all at the end of the day, we're all on the same team. So that's definitely a great that you guys have all found a way to work together out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And with TAN, we've really, even with the traditional side, I mean, from day one, we said, hey, we're an inclusive traditional archery organization. If you want to show up and be a member and beat a bow with a 3-inch stabilizer in a sight, like, right on, man. That's awesome. If you want to be a guy shooting a self bow with flint heads that you nap yourself, like that's awesome as well. And everything in between. We just want to promote, guys getting single string bows in their hands and falling in love with it like all of us have.
Yeah, I couldn't have said that any better, man. That was well said, for sure.
Very well said.
What else do you want people to know? Anything you missed?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's it. I think we would sure appreciate any support that anyone is willing to give us by joining our organization. We really hope and want to see our sport grow here in the state. Really hope to run into each and every one of you either on a 3D course somewhere or out in the hills chasing deer.
Awesome.
Cool, man.
Well, good deal. There'll be a link in the show notes to your website where people can join. And best of luck to you again. Sounds like you guys are really headed down the right track. And if you don't get it this year, man, you're building a great foundation. So, yeah,
and I think a lot of other people in different states could definitely take notes of a lot of the things you said and put that into practice. And thanks for letting me join in, man.
Yeah, it was great meeting you, Blake, and thanks, Rob. I sure appreciate your guys' time.
Absolutely,
you betcha,
man.
Well, keep us posted.
I will. Talk soon, guys.
Take care.